So Kim came to us that summer, and that fall, we enrolled her in our local high school, not yet knowing how significant her PTSD and depression was. Kim had come from this little Eastern Oregon town, which she said was the biggest city she'd ever lived in, and we plopped her down into this affluent suburb of Portland in an uber-competitive school full of overachieving kids of overachieving parents. It wasn't going to be an easy transition under the best of circumstances, which these weren't. But it was there that Kim met Paula, her new high school counselor. And Paula was the one who called me in early September and told me that Kim had been found in the bathroom, cutting and suicidal. Paula gently broke through my shock and emphasized that, yes, I needed to come get Kim now and take her to the hospital for a psych evaluation. But when Kim came back to school the following week, Paula embraced her, and she fought for her. She provided the services she needed and the kindness she deserved for the rest of the time she was at that school. Paula was in charge of our IEP meetings, the team meetings that we held on a regular basis. And I remember one particular IEP meeting in which I was just as clueless as I was through most of them in those early times. It was Paula and the therapist and the teachers and the administrators and the caseworker and the insurance care coordinator and Kim and myself. And they were all kind of working on what we were going to be talking about, but I was verbally agonizing over why no one seemed concerned that Kim's class selections were not optimized to make her ready and attractive to colleges. They all just stared at me. All of them. Paula, even Kim. They were just busy trying to keep her safe because her average day involved getting triggered, bolting, dissociating, running to the bathroom, and self-harming. And meanwhile, it was like I was fretting about a little scratch on the dashboard while the car was hurtling the wrong way down the freeway, striking everything in its path on the way towards a brick wall with no brakes. I'm sure they all spent a significant portion of those meetings internally shaking their heads and thinking, bless her heart. But like any parent of a child or teen with mental illness, I had to learn completely new expectations and completely new ways to parent, things that aren't in the standard manual that you get with a baby, which isn't even a thing. Thankfully, Paula wasn't just there for Kim. She was there for me. And I will always be so grateful for her calm and her wisdom. She reassured me that Kim could get better. She reassured me that there were resources for her. And Paula helped me begin to learn to accept Kim where she was, to begin to plan for what she could do in that moment and base my expectations on that. It wasn't easy, it was difficult, but it was what Kim needed. And I began to realize that if I could stay in the moment with her, instead of worrying too much about what would happen tomorrow or next week, that on Kim's worst days, the days we weren't sure she would survive her mental illness, she would know I was with her, and she would know she was loved. And that was important because the next few years were crisis and chaos, exhaustion, multiple suicide attempts, and many stays in the psych unit and residential mental health treatment. Do you know what helped me and my girls survive, my family? It was the openness, the connection, and the hope that we received from our community. Too many people with mental illness and too many of their family members never receive that support.